Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now I actually need to. I actually hate eating and then like using my keyboard. I'm one of those people where I need to take like perfect care of my computer stuff. But anyways, we have here, ladies and gentlemen, the ace match of my Wings for Hots tournament. Of course, this is a Wings of Liberty tournament, and whoever wins this wins a copy of Heart of the Swarm, because they just simply were able to prove themselves and win that copy of Heart of the Swarm, I guess. Not really much else to say. But in the top right-hand corner of Entomb Valley, spawning in the 1 o'clock position, we have our purple Zerg player. Taking this back to a 3-3 to the ace match, we have Nova from Romania. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our orange Terran player executing mech play with crisp, clean execution. Very well done. But his bio play seems to be lacking. It's just a matter of what he chooses for this match. We have Rocco. And now it's just really a matter of what our opponents decide to do at this point in the game. Of course, whoever wins this wins the tournament. But I'm pretty excited to see either way that this tournament goes. I'm pretty excited to see whoever wins it. Definitely deserved it. But we do have, of course, the 12 racks coming out now. A little bit of drone harass. Same stuff as always, 13. Okay. I'm going to eat a little bit. I'm going to take a few bites for like the next minute of this salad. Because it's going to be the same thing as the past 6 games that we saw. So stand by. Except for that. Okay, that changed. Wow. I tried to swallow my food before that really got out of hand. We did have a single worker die so far. Yay! It's not going to be the same thing over and over. We have a little bit of variances. But we do have that gas coming out again for that early Ling speed in particular. Might even snipe off a second worker here. But of course, with the drone being trapped in, the worker's supply or the workers killed is going to be evened out. Taking the gas, of course, to be as annoying as possible, delaying as much mining time as possible as well. It's well played there by Nova, as I am totally ready to eat a few more bites of the salad, as the first bite was so satisfactory. I gotta say, it does seem like there's a little bit of lag here on the stream side of things. I do not like that. It does seem to be lagging here a little bit, so I don't like that. I'd rather have no stream delay and no lag rather than stream delay and lag. But we'll see what you guys decide for that. Either way, I'm fine with it, but we do have, of course, the circling speed now being researched here. And, okay, my mic is on, so that's good to know. But I gotta say, pretty exciting games we've seen here so far. They've gone in just different ways every single time. Despite starting the same way, each game has ended in completely different ways. And this is, of course, the ace match. The point where I didn't think it would go to, but players proving me wrong, being able to have so much back and forth action here. And we will see what our players have geared up for this next match in the series. Final match in the series. Final match of the tournament itself. But we do have the Hellions making their way across, and looks like, are we going to see that mech? Are we going to see that mech? We have mech once again coming out here for Rocco. The thing that secured him the victory for the 3 games that he did win. But of course, not going mech, not securing him the victory for the games that he lost. So I definitely do agree with that decision making, being able to being able to just stick with what he knows has won him in the past. We do have that Roach Warren, of course, on the way here for Nova, and as long as the Hellion count doesn't get out of control, then the upcoming Roach timing could possibly be extremely effective. Now, I do apologize for having a few moments of silence as a man needs to eat. And, well, during the GSL, they take like 10-minute breaks, where I have not had a single break for the past 3 hours, but that is okay, because these games have been exciting. Actually, extremely good defense here by Nova. Only 3 workers have fallen for about 7 or 8 Hellions. I don't remember the exact count, but extremely well done with the defense, with the workers just barely in favor of Nova. Not much else really taking place, just roaches making their way across the field. No lair yet, though. So, of course, roach speed is not going to be on the field. A +1 carapace is also being researched. And Hellions definitely need to pull back because they can't deal with the roaches. But more and more Zerglings are coming out. Drones as well. So we'll see what is planned here on the Zerg side of things. We have the siege. I do agree with getting the siege tech up first, because that is able to defend against any form of roach aggression. Whereas if you get the blue flame, you're basically just banking on getting a lot of worker kills, which even then, still only 4 workers have died so far. I think that was a 5th. But only 5 workers killed for about the cost of, I think, 13 or 14 Hellions. So definitely not the trade that Rocco was looking for. And it's definitely good, as I was saying, to get the siege tech first, because since you're already on the aggressive side, if you need to go on the defensive, then you can do so with the siege tanks. But you can't really do much if you get the blue flame first, because, well, that doesn't do anything against roaches. It does a little bit more, but of course is not going to be able to seal the deal in any way, shape, or form. Ling, no! Okay, that was just sad. But we do have a macro hatch as well as the 3rd base coming up now. Hellions might, yep, looks like Hellions are going to go in to scout this. Definitely nice there, just checking out what is going on, but of course he does have a 3rd base of his own on the way. And it's going to finish just a little bit sooner here, but of course the Zerg base is going to be established before the Terran base can be. But with siege tech now on the field, Hellions of course denying any form of pre-spread. I'm a little bit scared here for Nova. He lost the games where Rocco went for the mech play. It's just a matter if he can turn it around and do something different for this one in order to secure the victory. And he does have his Overseer making his way in the base. Of course, going to be seeing everything going on. He's probably thinking right now, oh no, this is what I lost to 3 times. Now I definitely need to do something different in order to secure the victory here. Of course, both of these players want Heart of the Swarm, but unfortunately only one of them can have it at the end of the day. Spire is coming up now for Nova, but there is no anti-air yet for our Terran player. So this could definitely be a really good choice if he's able to get the Spire up in time and have his Mutalisks at his opponent's base before any anti-air is there, or even if only 1 Thor is there or something. Ling's trying to get the damage done that they can, but looks like Hellions are going to be able to sneak a few drone kills. Oh, a huge amount of drones going down right there. That was just an absolute barbecue. 6 drones falling with just 1 volley from a few Hellions. That was a pretty big loss there for Nova. Supplies being 105 to 81. And it looks like our Terran player might be ready for a little bit of aggression once he lands over his 3rd base, but a burrowed Ling is of course going to force out a scan, because there is no Raven in production. First Thor is also in production for a Terran player, along with the +1, but +2/+2 is on the way for Nova. So it's really just a matter of what can be done by this point. There is no blue flame yet for these Hellions, not even being researched. But our Terran player is going more on the defensive side of things. So what can Nova do at this point? Being at the deficit that he is at, 61 to 59 workers. I do think that a lot of Mutalisks would definitely be in order. I think that canceling Roach production and switching over almost entirely into Mutalisks and Zerglings would definitely be the option, because in the past games there has not been much anti-air from Rocco. There has of course been a few Thors, but it hasn't been enough to deal with it. And there have been some times where the Mutalisks were able to clean up the Thors, so we will see what is ready to go here. But I do need to reply to a text message real quick. Well, it looks like I need to pick up my sister from work pretty soon. That's exciting. I love getting notified at the last minute, if anything, that I need to pick someone up. But Mutalisks did get a little bit of scouting done, a little bit of harassment. There are 2 Thors though on the field, and this of course is going to make quick work of those Mutalisks trying to move in, but this is not the position he wants to engage in. There's so many siege tanks. As Nova needs to pull back, needs to get out of there, taking his 4th base behind this aggression. So very well done there. Something he wasn't able to do in the previous game. So if he can keep this little contain going on, then he might be able to just overall outproduce this mech army. And of course burrowing the Ling at the 4th base in order to prevent any other command centers from being landed for a good period of time. This food is fantastic. The scary thing here is Nova is at 150, 160 supply and about to contend with a maxed out mech Terran army. Being with +1 weapon upgrades, +2 right now, and just about to get +1 armor. And of course sniping off this barracks is good because it prevents any more... Whoa, that was a lot of Mutalisks dying there. But sniping off the barracks of course does prevent any more factories from coming up, of course, until another barracks is produced. But I don't know if this is really going to be enough on the Zerg side of things. We have the Roaches moving in. The siege tanks are not yet sieged. Baneling's getting decent damage done, and all the siege tanks have fallen. Still a lot of Roaches left standing, but he needs to pull back for now. +2 on those Roaches, reinforcing with the rest of his units. And it looks like he is going to be able to take out some more of the tanks, but he needs to kill off the tanks as soon as possible. And what are the Mutalisks doing behind this? They're just floating around. And what is the follow-up? Only 12 Lings in production to deal with the 5 Thors currently pushing forward on the field. Moving in now to get us around on the Thors, which of course can take out every single one of them. It's just a matter if he has the forces to deal with it. Hellions, of course, dealing some extra damage onto those Zerglings. And Rocco now being reduced to 109 supply. I can't really tell who's going to win at this point. But we do have 77 to 64 workers. 4th base is established for our Zerg player. Whereas we have the 4th base about to land here for our Terran player. Of course, he did clean up the burrowed Zergling. So nicely done there. But we have 158 to 115 supply. 2-2 is out for our Zerg player, where it's only 2-1 for our mech playing Terran. But it's really a matter of just the engagements by this point. Of course, with the 4th base being landed, with the mules about to be dropped and whatnot, and with this massive amount of SCVs just kind of oversaturating that base, it's a matter of what can really be done by this point. This could be a really cost-efficient trade for a Terran player, but Mutalisks have now arrived, and he needs to pull back. Currently have 10 Mutalisks and 13 Roaches, with 22 Banelings and 28 Zerglings versus only a few tanks, Hellions, and just a single or 2 Thors now. But of course, with the Planetary Fortress being up and running, now it's going to be a lot harder for our Terran player to be able to take out that base, but there's no real anti-air here, or actually really anywhere on the map for a Terran player, so a lot of workers can definitely fall, and especially these Hellions needing to pull back, getting really out of position. But we're about to have maxed armies versus maxed armies. It's really a matter of who can outproduce who, with Nova being able to get just overall more income at this point in the game, getting his 5th base behind this. Still no blue flame for the Hellions. Actually just about to finish here pretty soon. This is going to make quick work of the Zerglings, and with the Banelings moving in, a lot of Banelings actually taking pretty good damage there. Ultralisks are on the field as well. A lot of Banelings going down there, really nicely done there with the Hellions, but with the Mutalisks backing this up, they're of course going to be shoved away. But that was a lot of Baneling kills there for our mech Terran player. 5 kills, 2 kills, 1, 3, 10 kills on that single Hellion. And I actually want to see what this last guy is, but the fucking Thor is blocking it. So it looks like I will never know, but we have maxed out armies on both sides. And 5th base has been up, or is up I should say, for Nova. But we have a huge pack of blue flame Hellions moving out. Spinecrawlers are not enough to defend this, and workers were burrowed. But of course the scan was dropped in order to take care of this. Ultralisks are going to be able to seal the deal and clean this up with Baneling just rolling on forward, taking out everything. But what does our Terran player have? He only has 10 siege tanks and 5 Thors, being at 3-3 though. Only +1 armor. But our Zerg player is just massing up the resources that he needs in order to contend with this army. Remember that Zerg can of course reproduce extremely quickly, but one of the biggest things that's going to be a deciding factor in this game is not necessarily how the engagements go, it's who's able to resupply faster after the engagement. And by the looks of it, our Zerg player is going to be able to resupply significantly faster because he has so much money in the bank with almost 3,000 minerals and 2,000 gas. And it looks like this is the engagement that he wants moving in, but the tanks are sieged, trying to get a really good concave actually on the Zerg forces. And the Terran is trying to do his best to defend. It looks like for now the Zerg is going to be forced back, with a lot of the Ultralisks falling there. Mutalisks of course were saved during that battle, but what is on the way now? 62 Lings, 11 Mutalisks about to pop out here soon. And Zerglings are making their way in. Of course there is no siege, and now sieging up finally. But the Ultralisk is going to be able to wreak some havoc on these extra units. Magic boxing the Thors. Ultralisk is still living, up to 5 kills here. Finally getting taken out there. 155 to 127 supply, with 15 more roaches and 6 Mutalisks on the way. A Queen almost getting sniped there. But our Terran player needs to back up, as he does not have the production to back this up. He is really just hurting for minerals by this point in the game. And our Zerg player is almost maxed out once again. Moving on forward with a massive swarm of Mutalisks. He currently has 18 on the field. But then again, Thor's getting a really good volley off there. Actually taking out 6 of the Mutalisks almost for free. Very well done there by the amount of Thors on the field. A lot of SCVs being pulled off the line as well for repair. But fucking up the camera, we do have 25 roaches and some corruptors on the field as well, potentially for some broodlords pretty soon. Do we have the greater spire? I actually have not the slightest idea. We do have the greater spire on the field, and we do have the first few broodlords moving in. 5 broodlords morphing to be exact. And of course there's nothing really at this 5th base to kill. Roaches are moving in. They could possibly get a good angle on these Thors, but more and more units are being rallied across the map for our Terran player. And he does have actually a lot more minerals in the bank than he had previously, trying to find a good angle to engage. And the Roaches need to pull back, sniping off one of the Thors, but this is not really the place that they want to engage without any actual support, as they are taking out the Hellions. Broodlords have arrived, and they're going to add some extra DPS, but they need to back up, as the Thors are just getting some extra damage done here. Mutalisks trying to move in, get a really good angle here, but the Broodlords are taking so much damage at this point, despite being able to take out the Broodlords. The Thors are eventually going to fall, but Broodlords are going to fall as well. It's really a matter of who's able to resupply by this point. Both players being next to 0 minerals at this point in the game, taking out the Thors as quickly and efficiently as possible. More and more units are spewing forth on the field. We do have currently 18 roaches, 4 more in production. And eventually this force is going to get cleaned up. What was the damage done on both sides? Of course, Nova coming out on top. But both players are hurting for minerals at this point, being only at about 500 each and having just way too much gas. Both players do need minerals. We have the main base mined out for our Terran player, just about mined out for the natural. 3rd base getting to that point, and of course the The 4th base, the Planetary Fortress, is up and running very, very smoothly. But there are more and more Broodlords going to be morphing in here pretty soon. We do have currently 3 with 4 more Corruptors. Join the forces, morphing now into Broodlords. Roaches, Mutalisks, oh my. And the 5th base did not actually get killed, as now that is able to easily be mined out of the main base and natural for our Zerg player. Just about for the 3rd base as well. So he's definitely going to be getting more minerals here. And we don't have a 5th base yet established for our Terran player. Mutalisk trying to find a good angle to engage, or just a good place in general. As if they snipe off this turret, it's basically free reign for all of these workers here. But there's just so many Broodlords now on the field. We're currently up to 7, with a huge amount of roaches moving forward. But there's a lot of Thors, I gotta say, and Thors do really well against, of course, Broodlords and the roaches. Getting actually caught out of position to the Broodlords is gonna fall for free, basically. Roaches are making their way in, trying to snipe off the Thors. Is this the engagement that our Zerg player really wants to take? By the looks of it, no, as there are SCVs that are repairing the Thors as quickly and efficiently as possible. A lot of the Broodlords have fallen, being reduced to only 2. And those are eventually going to fall so long as the positioning is right. Broodlords are an extremely slow unit. And our Terran player has finally taken his 5th base, of course, being scouted by the single Zergling. And Nova going up to, again, 170 supply, just basically re-maxing as quickly and efficiently as possible. This time with Ultralisks, just trying to go with every tech choice that his opponent cannot deal with, because you want more siege tanks by this point when there's Ultralisks, but previously he had to deal with the Roaches, so Thors were, in a sense, the better option, especially for the Broodlords. And of course, this base is eventually going to have to be repaired, which is going to take away more and more minerals from our Terran player. As we do have 26 Banelings morphing in right now, just about to pop. Oh my, that is just a massive amount of units, as I need to lower the UI in order to even look at this. We got a huge amount of Banelings here, with a lot of Ultralisks being fully upgraded as well. And I don't even think we have full upgrades for our Terran player, not yet, being at 3-2 Neural Parasite with a few Infestors coming out as well. That could basically be the turning tides for this battle. We have a maxed out Zerg army versus a 150 supply Terran army. It really all comes down to positioning and what can be done here. But it looks like he's just going to go for it right now. And Nova is throwing in all of his units. Baneling's rolling in, taking out all of the Thors. And Ultralisks are going to be able to clean up the rest. Siege tanks, of course, doing some extra damage in the back. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Pulling all the workers offline to try to get some extra damage done. But with the amount of Banelings here, the Planetary Fortress is sure to fall, especially with the Ultralisks backing this up. Even despite the Ultralisks getting to really low HP, we have a 160 supply, 26 Lings currently in production, with more and more units spewing across the field. We just have a massive swarm of Zerg units making their way across the field, and I think that this is the end for our Terran player. Despite going mech and winning for the past 3 games, I don't think he's able to seal the deal this time. Unless if he's able to muster up some sort of huge defense, but the 5th base is now under fire. 4th base, of course, has fallen. And it looks like this is basically going to be the last-ditch effort, but it's just simply not enough. He doesn't have enough units to deal with the amount of Zerglings on the field. Pulling back the units as best as possible and getting us around on the siege takes. I think that that is going to be it, guys, as it looks like Nova being at 150 to 34 supply. Well played, and Rocco leaves the game, making Nova the